Varun, would you like to talk about Arsenal and their transfers this season?
Yeah, again, like if you see, the core team is already in place, right? What we needed was a couple of more additions. I think Calafiori is the key signing that they have done this season. They were looking to sign Merino as well, but that I don't think that deal is done yet. Um,
It's in process, by the way. There's a
It's
lot
it's
in,
in
of
it's very
process.
close.
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
very
very
close,
close.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
Edu is in Spain, as
it's
per
it's
reports.
it's never done till it's done with Arsenal. So.
fair enough.
Uh,
Fair enough.
Fingers crossed. We need that kind of a backup to Declan Rice in the midfield. But I think one thing that they are actually missing is like a nice, good striker. Because
Yeah.
I feel that going from a second place to winning the league, going above Man City, difficult to do with Jesus and Havertz as your strikers. Um, I feel you need that striker who will actually contribute 25, 30 goals a season. I think, and that's what we have been lacking. I think the defense has been pretty solid. The midfield has been pretty solid. The wingers are good. Um, I just feel that it's that center forward striker role that needs to be kind of looked into. I think too short a period of 2 weeks left. I think now, but hopefully, if they can get someone, that will be great. I mean, they're looking at a couple of options, but yeah,
Who
I
do
would
you
like.
think can be that player who can upgrade this team in that position?
Honestly, I would have loved Alvarez to come to Arsenal. I think
Who
even if
wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
even if I think he would have suited perfectly, right, to us.
Hmm.
A very mobile player, great at passing, great at building up the play as well, great finisher. Um, I mean,
But why
plus
would City sell to Arsenal,
they
being their
won't, and
closest competitors?
exactly they
Yeah,
won't, right? So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's the. I'm sure we would have shown interest in him as well, but of course, City is not going to sell to Arsenal. So I think
But
that.
another very good important equation now is that I'm not sure how Alvarez may fit into Atletico Madrid. And there's a big possibility that if he does not, there is a backdoor entry for Alvarez at Arsenal maybe next season or the season after that.
Let's see,
That can be very interesting.
let's see. But that means playing another season without a proper striker.
Uh,
So
So.
there are two options which are available in the market. You've got Ivan Toney, who is a
hmm.
traditional number nine, proven goal scorer in the Premier League, and something which Arsenal lack. And you've got another option which is a more high profile option in Victor Osimhen, who may be available on a loan, who may be available on an obligation to buy. Uh, I think these two. What's your view? Do you
So
think these profile of players?
I don't think Ivan Toney would fit in this kind of a role because, like, if you see the striker role at Arsenal, the player has to be very good with the ball at his feet. Like, he should be
Hmm.
really, really good at not just scoring goals, but also creating the link between the wingers, between the midfielders, and where Jesus and Havertz are actually very good at doing that, correct? So, you need that kind of a striker which is actually like a Burkamp kind of a striker, right? He's not just good as a striker, but he's very good at dropping deep, making the link between different players, right? As your number nine, basically. So, but I don't think Ivan Toney is that kind of a player that actually fits that kind of a mold, right? Osimhen, I think it's a long shot. I don't think it's kind of going to happen. Um, Again, like I will be surprised if that deal actually goes through. So
Hmm.
I would love to, but I
think
don't think it will. So.
I think with Ivan Toney, there were rumors that Arsenal had some issues with attitude. There
Hmm.
was some
Okay.
background check done, and Arsenal were not keen on it. Arteta probably vetoed it. The
That's
If
striker
you
they were
watch
looking for
the
this year is probably Cisco, and he signed the contract, and then probably that
hmm.
changed the
yeah.
full
But if you
strategy.
watch the Arsenal documentary, there was a mention of Ivan Toney, but not in a good way. He
Yeah,
had
true.
tweeted something against Arsenal, and that didn't go well in the dressing room. And then they used that as a motivation to play the next match against Brentford. That's the backstory behind it.
True.
So again, I think Edu being in Spain, trying to sign Mikel Merino, says that their priority is right now in midfield. Otherwise, last 15 days of the transfer window, and if their priority had been striker position, I think their attention would be somewhere else. Mikel
Absolutely.
Fair point.
Merino,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think but as a individual, I think a striker can improve Arsenal in a better way than a midfielder.
No, I
I
think
think
you
so it
need
could also
both.
be
They
market driven, right?
definitely, yeah. Sorry.
It could be market driven. There is no good opportunity there in a striker
Yeah.
position,
Yeah.
which they would think that they would
But do you
improve
really
their
think
team.
Calafiori and Mikel Merino can upgrade that team to the levels of being number one? Unless City drop down. If City
Yeah.
continue to play at the same level, do you think Calafiori and Marino are that solution to Arsenal wherein they can upgrade the team
Definitely not.
and
We
reach number one?
actually needed a striker. I think we needed that 25 goal striker. Like even if you see last year, Arsenal had one of the best defensive record. I think it's
Hmm.
those in those crunch games, tight games, you need that striker who can take the game by the scruff of the neck and actually kind of get you that crucial goals, right? I
Hmm.
think we needed that. I think, but as Rahul is saying, right, it's market driven as well. Probably the right strikers at the right price are not available at this point. So,
Just from a conjecture perspective, one player that Arsenal can sign as a number nine or a forward, which could be available, like of course, like an Alvarez is gone now, which would actually improve Arsenal this season.
this season, I would actually prefer if they then look at some internal options as well, right? Like Martinelli probably moving and playing a more
Central role.
central role. Trossard getting a bit more time on the left. Kind of they can look around moving players on the chessboard and kind of coming up with a solution as well. But I think 2 weeks, too little time left to actually get something done in this market, which where a lot of teams are looking for strikers, right? Like I
Hmm.
think there's a dearth of good strikers right now in the market, and I feel like yeah, probably like Ollie Watkins, but again, like a not a uh, perfect
Yeah.
player, but yeah, like kind of a makeshift replacement, kind of could do kind of a thing. But yeah, at least he's better than Ivan Toney, I feel. So
And given how much Emery likes Arsenal, I really see that happening.
exactly, right? So very few doable options right now.
I've heard Lukaku is available if you want to give it a chance.
I think they should come up with a rule that no current or ex Chelsea player should be signed by Arsenal.
How much you sign and see what he did for you.
That's a perspective. We can have that discussion. But yeah, we can move to the next team, Liverpool.
I think Rahul wanted to say something, if I'm not wrong.
Nah, I was just saying something like Ollie Watkins. Ideally, I think so would have been the player, but a deal like that needs at least 6 months. You need to
Yeah,
pursue it like even
yeah,
Rice. They were pursuing it since probably January. They were convincing him
yeah.
to let go of Ollie Watkins. You'll probably have to fork out 100
Do a lot
million
of
or
work.
something. But,
Yeah,
And
but
and a
and
won't
lot
it
of
be
work
too
to
high for a player 27, 28-year-old? And
do.
but
then,
see, if you're winning a Premier League with that, you that
It's
could
the
be a
Robin,
missing piece.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's a Robin van
Robin van
Persie
Persie
case
deal.
study.
All in, Ollie Watkins is nowhere close to being a Robin van. Let's
Of
not,
course,
let's not kind of,
fair
yeah,
enough.
Not
Okay. The conceptually it's similar, but yeah, in terms of talent, there's no comparison. So just on Arsenal, because there have been a couple of other deals which have been made. So David Raya officially has become
officially,
an
yeah.
Arsenal player. Yeah, so he was on loan last season and he's come in and he was the Premier League Golden Glove last year. So I think that's again a great signing for them. And unfortunately, I think one very talented player in Emil Smith Rowe has left Arsenal for Fulham. Uh, Great in terms of attitude, great in terms of talent, but somehow injuries and maybe
Yeah.
better players in his position kind of played a part in him leaving.
Yeah.
So I think
Probably we could have got more money for Emil Smith Rowe. For some reason, Arsenal are not good at selling players. I mean, you see
but
Chelsea, you
they've
see,
gotten better.
yeah,
they've
they,
gotten better.
This deal was still at least reasonable. Previously, Man United and Arsenal used to just throw away the players.
yeah, true. At least now we have reached the 20 million thresholds for selling
Yeah.
players. Earlier, it used to be single digit.
I think most of the Premier League clubs should just buy the Liverpool back-end team. I think even if you spend 50 million on their back-end team, it'll result in a better net income over the next 2 years, 3 years.
Questionable again, but okay.
But I think so. This year will be the year for Arsenal to win it. A
Yeah.
controversial opinion, but I think if they don't win it this year, maybe Arteta never wins it.
Oh, wow.
Or never
Interesting.
wins it with Arsenal.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Never wins
Fair
it with
enough.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean,
So I agree as well. I agree as well. Ki Arsenal Champions League for me. I think City will drop off, and this is Arsenal and Arteta's year.
yeah, hopefully.
We have
But
a very pessimistic Arsenal fan in the house, so
not pessimistic, but I would love to be that gung ho about it, but it's always good to be realistic. But I still feel we are missing that striker, right? So I feel all the
Which fan isn't a pessimistic person? Every fan is a pessimistic person for their club.
fair enough.
I
yeah,
think so in
yeah,
public, internally you are optimistic.
yeah. I mean, exactly right. But yeah, but
Internally, do you
there's
think Kai Havertz
there's
is
a
a good
missing
player,
puzzle piece
Varun?
with Arsenal. Sorry,
Internally, do you think Kai Havertz is a good player, even though you might show him?
no. No. I with Kai Havertz, I don't think internally he's a good player. I don't even say publicly he's a good player. But
Okay.
but what I would say is definitely did better than what I expected. So, but
Yes.
my expectation was rock bottom. So it's
Yeah.
basically you're expecting 2 out of 10, and he's performed like I think 5 or 6 out of 10. So yeah, a little critical about him, but yeah, I think that's my
Fair enough.
What
opinion.
I think one more thing. Do you think that Arsenal has to do a lot of work in terms of outgoings, like someone
Yeah.
like Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Aaron Ramsdale, like these players I can see can go out and play somewhere else. But given Jesus' salary, it would be really difficult to sell him.
I think we need to keep them. I think we need the backups because see, last couple of seasons we have been lucky with injuries, right? A season in which suppose Havertz gets injured, who do you have a backup, right? Like
Mm.
you need Jesus there. You need good backups at critical positions in the team. I think you need to keep these players at least for another season till
Mm.
you find other replacements in those
You
positions.
share the same view for Zinchenko?
Um, I do share the same view for Zinchenko because like if you look at our other options in the left fullback, correct? Those are actually either right, traditionally right fullbacks or center backs turned into fullbacks, correct? So again, like we need these players because it's a long season. There are a lot of games, a lot of different competitions. We need these players, given the fact that there could be a lot of injuries happening. Especially this is a year after the World Cup. Players have not got enough rest, right? So it's not
Mm.
bad to actually have backups in all the key positions in the team.
Zinchenko might just be the third choice left back for you.
I know, but I think we need
Yeah.
that given the number of competitions and how injury prone some of these Arsenal players are.
Hmm.
So
Fair
plus
enough.
his
And
experience is very important in the team, I feel. So um,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I feel no point letting them go. I feel you need experience when you want to win big cup competitions.
there are
I think
some
Julian
players which
Timber.
kind of, sorry, yeah, Ishan, go ahead.
I think Julian Timber is like a new signing for them.
Yeah, he
For
didn't
Again,
play
sure.
very
that.
highly
Yeah,
rated,
yeah,
and I've recently read that he's back to full team training.
yeah.
So
He is.
he should
He
be,
is.
yeah, he's a really talented player and like one of the best talents coming from Ajax. Uh, I've heard great stories about him. So he potentially can be a second choice left back up behind Calafiori, is what
Correct,
I'm seeing.
correct.
So
So
Arsenal wanting
Potentially first.
bench strength. Sorry,
Potentially first. He
potentially,
might be
potentially, but
starting.
you're not signing a 50 million a fullback for being a second option, right? Like
But Timber
Calafiori
was
was
also
signed for
signed
big
last
money.
year, right? Timber was also signed last year or equally
Yeah.
big.
So Timber actually again gives that versatility where he can play either a left back or he can play instead of Gabriel as a left centre back. So basically, again, if you see, we don't have a replacement for Gabriel. Now it's good that over the last couple of years, Gabriel hasn't gotten injured, right? Um,
Yeah. Right.
so we need these players who actually kind of fill in as a backup
Hmm.
role in these positions. So I think Timber can actually play a left centre back as a backup for Gabriel as well. So he's a versatile player that we have in the defense.
Timber and Calafuri both have had ACL surgeries done. So you never know with such injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
I think
With
Timber
Timber,
is the
one
one
thing,
that got away because I think Ten Hag basically assigned most of the entire Ajax
yeah,
squad.
Yeah.
I was just getting
I think
there.
he could be
Timber,
the best player out of the crop. I believe he can be that guy.
Could be.
Yeah, Rahul, go on.
Timber was the first one United were linked with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
So probably he was rated quite highly by Ten Hag.
But
Correct.
thanks to Louis Van Gaal.
Thanks to Louis Van Gaal.
The
He did
gift
one
that
more
keeps
favor on
keep on
United.
giving. Yeah.
But it's okay. We got Lisandro instead.
Yeah, of course.
So actually, Arsenal was actually interested in Lissandro Martinez, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think United
Yeah.
signed him, and then we went for Timber.
correct.
Basically, like a switcheroo thing happening over there. So,
Correct.
but yeah, both
Just
good
one
players.
input on Zinchenko. So, like, there are some players who you would want to be around the team for two reasons. One is the experience. Second is he has actually won something. You look at
Exactly.
this Arsenal squad and you don't see many winners out there, right? You have potential, but you've not got winners. And
Yeah.
Zinchenko has had that mentality over
Yeah.
a decent amount of time working with Guardiola. So even
Yeah.
if he doesn't actually start too many games, his influence on the squad can be really good. And in terms of outgoings, I think Nketiah may be out the door. I think 15 million from Bournemouth may be a possibility because Solanke has just gone to Spurs. So I think that can be a good way to earn some
I
money over
think
there.
they're looking for more. Not 15 million. I think they're looking around
They
30
have
now.
rejected a bigger offer from Arsenal.
Acha,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But
Arsenal are
this
doing
is
well
this is where
apparently now.
Arsenal's no, this is where actually we are struggling to sell players, right? You're struggling to sell a player like Nketiah, but you have seen Chelsea and Liverpool sell their squad players or like non-starters for like 30 million, 28 million, etc. Right? So this is where they need to improve, right? You get good money when you sell, you'll be able to pay good money when you try to buy players.
But I
So
think that is for the higher ceiling. I think NKTI has already reached there. Why people play for squad players is for their potential to become something big in the future. Like, for example, Lewis Hall or Ian Matson. They are potentially those players who can make it big. NKTI has already reached there. I feel so.
you never know, right? Because he's never got that place in Arsenal where he
Consistent
started. Yeah,
opportunity.
exactly. So I think there's still more to go with him. It's just that he needs that run of games where he is the the main guy in the team, right? So I feel once he gets that, and he's still very young. Like there's still like a lot of years in him left. So
Hmm.
I think there are like one or two notches where he can actually move up. So yeah.
We spoke about Zinchenko being a critical piece in Arsenal's team, but do you think he really would want to be there? Like Arsenal wanting him and he wanting to be in Arsenal are two different things. At that stage of career, you want to really be playing in the team and asking for minutes, which is very difficult for him as of now.
Again, I
So,
feel
will
this is very much dependent on the relationship that the player and the manager actually have, right? If you have had that kind of a chat with the player where you see him to be a senior player in the squad and your role is more as like um, playing the crucial moments, guiding the young group of players. I mean, I think yeah, I understand your point of more game time, but I think it's a very important role that he has in the team as well, in terms of being one of the senior players in the team. And I think if that's an equation which I mean, I think it's an equation between Arteta and Zinchenko. I think it's based on how comfortable he is in that equation that will make him stay or leave. So,
fair enough.